All right, guys, welcome back to the Final Shot Podcast. Today, the podcast is brought to you by Onnit. If you're not on it, get on it at onnit.com/TFS podcast and save 10%. Get yourself some Shroom Tech Sport. Where the fuck is my Shroom Tech, Derek?
Shroom Tech. Shroom Tech is here.
Get yourself some Shroom Tech Sport. Get yourself some Alpha Brain. Get yourself New Moon, Elk Bars. The fuck else do they got over there,
We got kettlebells. We got swinging maces. We got a brand new clothing line. I just got the email the other day. We're launching some new products. They got this new creatine. Am I saying that right?
Creatine?
Yeah, what's the word? There's one sample they didn't send us. Yeah.
Creatine monohydrate.
That's the one.
They did send it to us.
Oh, did? Okay. There's one they didn't send us, but we're getting on it. I'm talking to our rep right now. And a big shout out to Onnit for sponsoring the podcast the last few months now. We just got some new shirts coming in.
You got a shirt on today.
Actually, yeah, mine came in. And I realized that I'm clearly not a medium anymore. So I might have to make a new order. So keep on going. What else we got?
Well, guys, we're also brought to you, as always, by all the weed companies. Sovereign Extracts. These guys hooked me up with my CBD pens. Sovereign Extracts. Hit them up on the Instagrams at Sovereign Extracts. We've got Buds and Leaves, as usual. Get the CBD pills. CBD heals, guys. CBD heals everything except for, I don't know, maybe
ugliness. Yeah. There's nothing. Yeah, I can't do anything.
And as always, Smile Spray, Smile V Liquid. Go check them out on Instagram. Guys, Buds and Leaves and Smile Spray are not up and running yet because of the goddamn government
registration. Yeah, right.
But I will tell you guys 100% when they're back up in full effect. But we're going to keep supporting them on the podcast because my man Blake over at actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some CBD right now.
Loosen you right up. It's about to get weird in here, folks.
But my boy Blake McVitie over at Smile Spray, he's a solid dude. I like to support Canadian companies, and he's a fucking cool motherfucker. So we're gonna keep supporting him.
And that's at Smile Spray. What's the URL on that? SmileCanada.com.
Smile what?
What's the URL? How do we access the Smile?
SmileVliquid.com.
That's what it is. You think after adding the graphics all these months, I would remember.
You know who else I'm gonna shout out today? And I'm going to make the announcement today, but I don't have the gloves yet. But USG Canada.
Right. Those gloves you're showing me. You showed me some graphics. I can't.
Yes.
And then, tell me a little bit about them.
So USG Canada, they're actually going to be the official gloves of the Final Shot podcast. They're also the official gloves of Cody the Crippler Crowley, the CPBC International Champion. They are the gloves of Gary Hocus Pocus Copus. And
who we just happened to run into at the Golden Gloves event in Saskatoon. Right. So
USG Canada, their website is in the middle of being built. But shout out to my boy Howie over in Toronto, who is the owner of USG.
And the website has more than just gloves, from my understanding. We were talking.
They do everything. They do everything from gloves to fucking boxing shoes to athletic apparel, everything.
Good. Check them out. I definitely will be.
All right. So you guys have heard a second voice on here today, but he's not on camera. He's a little camera shy. It's the Angry Ginger.
Yes.
The producer of Soulless Productions, all those videos that you guys see me on Instagram.
I make those.
The podcast videos. Derek does all that work behind the scenes.
Kind of, yeah. So, thanks for having me on, Tanner. I was kind of avoiding getting onto the podcast, but it's nice to kind of touch base with everybody and go over some of the fight stuff. I always wanted kind of the opportunity to play off some of you because I think a lot of our best conversations, a lot of the stuff we talk about is unfortunately never captured. And I wanted to kind of catch our vibe, catch some of the stuff that's going on, and maybe go back and forth and maybe fill each other in in our holes. So let's go. Let's do this.
A lot of our best conversations are about dicks.
Dicks, yeah, and balding, myself, and everything else being a lackluster, skinny, fat, pubes, foreskin, all the stuff that really kind of happens in the locker room at the boxing school.
So first, before we get into any of the fights that happened on the weekend, December 8th in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, we will be hosting the Provincial Boxing Tournament here. Our club, Counterpunch Boxing, SCFC, is going to be hosting
And you've been coaching some of the local fighters at
Correct,
the school.
yes.
And more importantly, I guess close to your heart is
my nephew.
Your nephew, who will be in his second fight.
For a provincial title.
Which is amazing, yeah, for a kid that has less than 7 months boxing. He's been training under you full time, and from talking to him and seeing him at the school, totally changed his diet. He's there every day, and he's got a wicked punch. He's been actually you've been doing these side bets that kind of make me laugh. These side bets, if he takes off one of their senior boxers with a body shot, you can have, I believe it's a teen burger or
double teen burger from A&W.
From A&W's favorite. And oddly enough, he's been pulling it off. And his reward. So I think it's funny. I think it's going great. But that is this weekend, the provincial championships in town here in Swift Current. You put a lot of effort in there. You'll be cornering.
I'll be cornering, and I'll also be doing the ring announcing.
The ring announcing. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can't cuss. Though,
I know. I was gonna. How is that gonna work? Because this will be on a local cable television, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, you have experience doing so. That's kind of very cool.
It'll be fun. I think it'll be a good night. It's going to be a different crowd than what I'm used to. I'm used to going to the KO
pro level events, right?
Where the people show up in suits and ties.
Right. I've been to a few events with you in regards to this. Will definitely be a little league in terms of what you're used to.
Yeah, it'd be a bunch of drunk fucking rig pigs.
Over drinking and looking for blood on a bunch of 12-year-old amateur fighter.
Not nice.
But do your best, and it'll be fun for you.
Good luck to everybody that'll be competing at the provincials.
And you are donating a pair of gloves, I believe, and some swag, some gloves. That's thanks to the Final Shot podcast again for supporting local events. Little plug for ourselves. That'd be cool. So a new student will be getting a pair of gloves. I believe they're from one of our former sponsors, Dakota Fight Gear. Dakota Fight Gear, right. So we got a pair of Dakota Fight Gear gloves. We got some hats, some shirts we'll be giving away. So that's kind of cool. Really kind of get involved in the amateur levels. So, not only are you doing the bigger events, you're actually kind of supporting boxing on all levels, from coaching to announcing, really kind of taking your brand to the next level.
Yeah, I'll tell you, amateur boxing pisses me off.
It's not fun for you, or
I don't fucking like it.
You don't like it as in terms of disorganized, not your type of thing.
I enjoy that people get to go out and compete, but some of the people that put on these events are fucking idiots.
Right.
Like, they're just shittily put together.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing you can do about it.
Fuck all I can do. Like, what am I gonna do?
I understand. I get that, but I guess something's better than nothing at this point.
We're dealing in what would be called a gentleman's sport, quote unquote.
Right.
There is females involved, so I don't know what the correct thing
Zims
to say
are politically correct.
But when this sport is one of the greatest sports on the planet, and I think that on all levels it should be presented with the utmost respect.
You feel they're disrespecting the sport at the amateur levels?
A lot of the amateur stuff it disrespects the sport when it goes to the money that's in. Like, amateur boxing is fucking rich.
You've had a hard on for that for a long time. Just talking to you.
Yeah, I think that these guys, the amateur guys that are representing our country and all that, and that kind of stuff on our national team that's going to be competing to go to the Olympics, I think that they should be subsidized more than $1,000 a month.
Right, and and that's the same problem they have with college sports too, at the basketball levels. But more importantly, like in the amateur ranks, they're just not getting subsidized at all.
There's no money. Like, they got to go work a full-time job. Where like these guys, the amateur guys don't fight. Like, they fight more often than pros.
Right.
Ryan Caldwell's had fucking
that's
8
who I wanted to
goddamn
mention.
fights this year.
Right.
Like,
and not getting pennies on the dollar.
Nothing. He's got to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that sometimes it's supposed to.
And then the fucking Canadian national team kicks him off because, like, he's still a part of it, but he's not subsidized now, so he can't stay in Montreal and get his training. It's fucking stupid.
Right.
But anyway, let's get off this.
Okay.
We had a bunch of important fights that happened on the weekend. We'll start off with Dario Bredicean versus Shaquille Finn.
Definitely a podcast favorite. We will be posting clips of the fight. I was excited about it. Not so much. I love Dario's segments. Always been fun. Personally favorite. Love to edit them. I love his personality. He's a showboater. Hilarious on social media. And just a media darling. And then I was just naturally favorite. And then when he brought on his competition, Shaq, on the podcast 2-3 weeks ago, I gotta tell you, Tanner, that guy really won me over. This guy has a good story. But I'm biased as fuck. I met Dario first, so I didn't, and I've seen his fights before. So I was super excited about this fight. I know it was on the undercard of the Adonis Stevenson fight, which we'll get to the main event. What did you think, or what do you have to say?
I watched the fight on Anthony Chiappetta's live stream from the fight itself. So shout out to Anthony Chiappetta. Go follow him on Instagram at @fish_karma. But listen, Anthony, I really appreciate it because none of us could find the fucking fight.
Yeah.
None of us. So you were a lifesaver for me. I got to watch the fight. I thought the fight was a great fight.
Yeah.
The Manny Montreal posted that he thought Shaq got robbed. I thought Dario got robbed.
And that's the beauty of boxing, and we'll sit here and argue until we're blue in the face. There was an interesting social media post that I saw that this does what's the word? Justify a rematch.
100%.
Right. Okay. And I did see them hugging and embracing each other in another social media post. Actually, Dario's. Dario was wearing big glasses and an old fisherman's hat. I don't know if his face got busted up or not. But it was really fun. I'm glad to see those guys got at it. I don't know. What do you hope to see next? Or immediate rematch?
I think they should just run it back right now. But I was talking to Anthony Chiappetta last night a little bit after the fight. He said Dario was upset. And, hey, I get it. But when you go home at the end of the day, Dario, you should be proud of yourself.
Okay.
Because you just stepped into the ring with your toughest competition. I thought you won. The judges didn't. So what? You didn't get a belt. It's not going to hold up your fucking pants.
You worried about his record?
No.
Like having that mark on his record?
No, I like it.
Okay.
Listen, I see Shaq's record and he's got 2 losses on it. I like that.
You referenced that in the last podcast, saying that it's a motivational.
They know what it's like to lose. Do you want to feel that again?
No, definitely not. Right.
So we're going to go out and fight harder. I prefer it.
Okay.
Guys have lost. They know what it's like. So you get a world champion, 40-0 with 39 knockouts like Deontay Wilder. What's going to happen when he loses?
Another Ronda Rousey case. You
got Tyson Fury, 27-0 or whatever the fuck he is. What's going to happen when he loses?
I'm scared about that one more. So I think he's a little more fragile.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But if not saying that these guys didn't lose in amateurs.
Right.
I know Deontay Wilder won a bronze medal in the Olympics, so he would have had to have lost along that way somewhere. So he knows what it's like to lose, but not on this level. Not with 50,000 people in an arena.
Right.
Like, did you see that show that Quebec put on last night, Groupe Yvon Michel? That fucking place was huge.
Yeah, I've seen definitely a resurgence of boxing on all levels. Like,
it's great.
And do you think that's because the internet, the character building, or do you just think that people are tired of the UFC or MMA?
I don't think that boxing ever went anywhere, but I think that the UFC made such a giant splash in combat sports that we've always had the fans in boxing. Like, I hated boxing for a really long time.
Okay.
Because it was fucking boring. Thank you, Vladimir Klitschko.
Okay. 10 years of that.
I didn't like it. Like, it's boring.
Okay.
There was no talking. I enjoyed the shit talk. I liked the story.
Right, and you felt the stories weren't getting.
Nobody was telling the stories.
Like, I don't know who these guys are. Just 2 Russian dudes that I can't pronounce their names, or 2 dudes I don't know who they are.
No idea.
And right, and you felt Klitschko style was just not entertaining.
I'd fucking fall asleep.
Right.
What are we gonna do? Jab. Great.
10 years of that. I thought, when I really kind of saw the resurgence for myself personally was when Shannon Briggs started poking his head around, and I saw that video.
Love the cannon.
Right.
He's 109. I don't think he should fight again.
He did get busted for steroids recently.
Yeah, good. I'm proud of you.
But he brought a fire in. He thought it was entertaining for me. I saw him on a couple podcasts myself, and I just thought, this guy's a character. Yeah. He's old. He can't fight anymore, can he?
Oh yeah, he can fight. He can still fight. He's huge, man.
Yeah.
Like, he hits you, it's fucking trouble. But here's the problem with Shannon Briggs. We can only hear you scream, "Let's go, champ," so many times.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It gets fucking boring.
Okay.
Especially when we've got guys like Tyson Fury.
Right.
Who, an amazing talker.
Right. I think his story is amazing.
He's got an amazing story.
Right. It gives everybody hope to get that fat and bloated. You see those, everybody's seen those pictures when he was fat.
It's huge, man. He's 400 pounds.
And then until he admits just to falling off the rails. There's a great story.
He fell into rails.
Yeah. Right. And then there's stories of him driving his cars at hyper speeds and hearing a voice before he kills himself.
Crazy.
And then going the story he was telling, he was at a Halloween party, and when everything changed his life, he's like getting all drunk, and he looks around and everybody's half his age.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What am I doing?
What are you doing, Tyson?"
He goes home, and his wife is like, "It's like whatever, 10:30 at night. What are you doing home?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm coming back."
Yeah.
And his wife said, "You know what? I've heard this 100 times before." He goes, "No,
it's happening.
It's really doing it." Yeah, she goes.
Well, shout out to his wife, because he was fucking every hooker and doing all the blow.
Like, now she's You got
fucking 5 kids and one on the way, or 4 kids and one on the way. Like, shit.
She's hung around. Either she's really smart or really stupid. I don't know which one it is, but God bless her soul.
Good for her.
Yes.
Proud of you.
On that same card, what do you think of the Adonis Stevenson fight, our Canadian?
Ugh. Listen, I was never an Adonis Stevenson fan until his last fight in Toronto.
Okay.
And he shipped in a bunch of handicapped kids.
Yeah.
From Montreal, got them the limousines and the hotel rooms, paid for their whole... I didn't know that about him. I just thought he was a cocky fuck.
I always thought you had a love for Canadian fighters in general, no matter who they were.
I do usually, but... Listen, I don't think that of him anymore.
Okay.
I think he's a fantastic human being. The fight itself was going good.
And it was what was he, Ukrainian guy? Yes.
Vasily Lomachenko is one of his guys.
Okay.
From that gym. They call him the Nail.
The Nail.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I don't even want to try to say it because it's fucking hard. But he's a tough dude. And we're talking about a 41-year-old Adonis Stevenson going in to fight a hungry young kid.
Right.
And he got caught in the 11th round and got put down, and they had to carry him out of the fucking arena.
Oh yeah,
He went to the hospital. He was so confused. He didn't know what happened.
This brings up a whole huge area of topic that in terms
it's a tough business. Now I'll tell everybody. Everybody's gonna already know. Adonis Stevenson is in a coma.
Okay. You personally have 2 incidents on my memory of people falling into.
I have a very bad track record with this kind of stuff.
And what do you see, or what's your answers? Instead of complaining about it, can we give any solutions to it?
Realistically, with the Adonis Stevenson situation, we're talking about a world champion who's the longest reigning world champion. What are you gonna do? He's got to fight, or he's got to retire. Is Adonis Stevenson ready to retire? Skill wise, fuck no.
Right.
What are we supposed to do? He got hit too many times.
There's no meter. There's no punch in the head meter.
We don't have a meter on the back of our brain that tells us ding, 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 ding. It's time to stop, Tanner.
Yeah, right.
We don't have that.
You can't. There's nothing in CAT scans.
No. So. And when you go off his last fight, he looked fantastic.
Right.
The other 2 instances are very different.
Right.
We're talking about David Whittam and Mr. Tim Hague. Both of them have passed. Rest their souls, rest in peace, and all that. But when you go through the record, David Whittam's been knocked out so many goddamn times.
Right.
Tim Hague was knocked out so many times. It's not the case with Adonis. So, do we need to have more CT scans, more MRIs, see what the fuck's going on in people's brains? Maybe.
Right.
Do we need to have something in place in all combat sports where we can get these tests done for not $900?
Right.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, the only way we're going to get movement is a death.
Something.
It's
sad.
Right.
But this is the game, and I hate to say game.
Right.
Because it's not a game.
Right.
And this is just another situation to prove it that this is not a game.
These guys are going into fight.
You've heard me, I don't even know how many times
it's annoying.
Harp on this.
Right.
I've harped on it. And take it seriously. Because if you don't, bad shit can happen. And you've heard it so many times. It's probably annoying for you to hear.
No, I need to hear it. Because obviously, if you know.
But getting hit in the head isn't a joke.
Right.
And I've hammered this home to my nephew so many times that, like, okay, so I'll give you an instance. We're coming up to provincials, and my young nephew's getting in trouble, and they're pulling him out of boxing.
Okay, just getting in trouble.
Getting in shit.
Typical.
His mom, nope, you're not going to boxing.
Okay.
Okay, fuck.
Right.
What am I supposed to do? I can't let you fight if you don't train.
Right. And that he's writing your name, and you have a personal investment in him.
I don't care about that.
I just think, like, dude, I fucking bought you all your gear. I'm training with you. You're getting private lessons with me, and now you're being a moron at school and you can't train. So I think it's just an insult to you.
So, not a lot of people know the past on my nephew, and I'm not going to disclose it on a fucking podcast. But he's had some problems.
Okay.
I moved to town. I kind of grabbed him, and I said, "Okay, listen,
he's a different human being.
We're going to go do something positive."
Right.
Now, whether you think that punching somebody in the face is a positive is your own opinion. But what the agreement was you've got to be a good human being in all aspects of life.
Okay.
To be able to do this. And that's now, has he changed? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is he perfect? No, he's 13.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Exactly.
All right, so we've gone through the Groupie Mom Michelle card.
Yeah, and that was kind of a tough one to watch because
it's hard. Like, I don't like that.
It's tough. And kind of brings us to our next little fight. We watched the Fury fight. We got the Adonis Stevenson fight. And then there was I guess I don't want to touch on this, but I do want to touch on an upcoming trip we have coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, what trip is that?
We're heading out to Edmonton for the next KO boxing event. Again.
Yeah.
And that's always a fun little trip for us, going on a little road trip, and
it's a good time, man. I love going to KO boxing.
Right.
I see all my friends.
Right. And
I get to fuck around.
Yeah, and make it some personal. Yeah.
I don't get to fuck around this time. I don't think though.
Yeah, just a quick reminder if you missed last week's podcast. Who's headlining that show, or do you have any?
Eric Bazinian is going to be headlining that show. The co-main event will be Artur. I don't know if you've seen him fight yet.
No.
And I'm not like Eric. I can say Eric's name. Artur's last name I can't say. He's a Russian fellow.
Oh, you can't say it's a secret, or you can't say because you can't pronounce it.
I forget.
I forget
how to pronounce it.
Okay, so just backtrack for me. Who's the headliner on that?
Eric Bazinian, who's 26-0 with 17 knockouts.
A local Edmonton fighter?
No, he's from Eye of the Tiger Management in Quebec.
And do they have some type of relationship with KO?
This is going to be a co-pro.
Tell me about that.
So KO Boxing is going to present KO Boxing 84 in conjunction with Eye of the Tiger Management.
And that's a bigger deal than
deal. Yeah.
It's new, right?
Yeah, it's a cool thing.
And then what's the relationship with that and Punch and Grace? There seems to be a tie.
So Camille Esteban is the owner of Eye of the Tiger Management.
Okay.
His daughter, Emmanuel Esteban, if I said your name wrong, Emmanuel, I'm sorry. I'm just going to call you Emma from now on. So
okay.
Emma runs Punch and Grace.
And that's a streaming service.
A
new service.
Yes.
And it's similar to DAZN, you were saying?
It's kind of like DAZN, but DAZN does a whole bunch of other shit too, right? Soccer.
Oh, right. Okay.
Donkey videos.
Right. Okay.
They got going on. But Punch and Grace is going to be boxing. Specifically, Eye of the Tiger Management shows.
I stopped by the website.
Yeah.
And they do have documentaries as well, boxing documentaries. So it's not just a full-fledged streaming service in terms of traditional what you just fight.
But it's all about boxing.
All boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that go on. So that's $11 a month.
It's $11 a month now. I know Cynthia over in fucking Quebec got all confused because the shit so the deal was you sign up, you pay $11, and your first 3 months are covered for that price, and then it's $11 a month after that fact. I don't know if that deal's still going on, but if it is, take fucking advantage of it because it's a fucking steal.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I know I did.
So punchinggrace.com will be live streaming KO Boxing 84 December 14th.
Okay. So if you guys can't make it or can't make an appearance to that show, make sure you sign up. We'll put a link in the video here where you can check it out and see if it's for you. I guess with the fall of HBO boxing, it could maybe fill in that gap.
Yeah, with no more boxing on HBO, Punching Grace is the place to go.
Yeah. What do you think about that HBO falling out of boxing? Bad timing?
It probably didn't fit with what they wanted to do. But who cares?
Yeah.
We have Showtime.
Right.
We've got DAZN. We've got Eye of the Tiger. We've got Punching Grace. We've got TSN. We got ESPN. Like, shit. Who knows? Maybe fucking Golden Boy is going to start their own. Like, if you guys go on fucking Facebook half the time, you can watch Eye of the Tiger Management or Group Yvonne Michelle shows on there.
Right.
They're great boxing. Like, I don't care that HBO doesn't carry boxing anymore. Now, are they going to show previously recorded boxing matches? Yes.
Right.
So it is what it is. Now, Showtime, if you could pull up your bootstraps and fucking let us Canadians get it, that'd be great.
It's not available in Canada?
I couldn't get it. I wanted to get like the Showtime app and pay the monthly fee of $11 or $13, whatever the fuck it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't let me do it on my Mac, and then it wouldn't let me do it on my iPhone. So I don't know.
Right.
Pull up your bootstraps, Showtime, or somebody tell me how I can figure this the fuck out.
Yeah, definitely. So that is this on the 17th, I believe.
What?
The KO boxing event.
December 14th.
December 14th. So we'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, man. There's gonna be some people there.
Yeah, you always have a good time. You're really well known. You always get us the best seats. Yeah, it's always good.
Rumor has it I'm gonna be busy that night, though.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Rumor is that I'll be the English commentator for Punching Grace. So if you guys get the fight on Punching Grace, you might have the bad guy.
I would really like to see that. That'd be just an opportunity for you and get some color commentary.
No, I will tell you that Derek and I just recorded how would you even put it?
Not a test, a demo reel.
A demo thing.
Yeah. We did a slight demo reel where we kind of back and forth and it was fun, and it was something I've never done before. And to go back and just hear Tanner, his side or his shining light on his angle of the fight was really cool to see. What you're gonna miss is maybe a little less dick jokes, and you maybe not hear some of the cuss jokes, but otherwise everything is very bad guy fashion. Great angle, a lot of education on it, a lot of fun, and it makes watching the fight fun. Without not too wordy, and and it's just good. He has a good radio voice, good voice for TV. So hopefully that plans out to something bigger and better. You can definitely show your support by signing up to Punching Grace, and or just even shooting a message to them on social media, which we'll have the links for you. Now that we kind of touched on Dario before about being a podcast favorite, another podcast favorite, that I haven't heard much about is our good buddy Ryan and Real Deal Ford. What's his scenario?
I just talked to the Real Deal yesterday. The Real Deal will be going back over to Germany. He's leaving on the 12th. He will fight on the 15th.
How do you feel about that? That's boxing, correct?
Yes, that is boxing. This fight is this is boxing, people. This is a warm-up fight.
Oh, you think he's a journeyman guy or he's fighting?
Oh, I know 100% it is.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not going to give his record on here.
Okay. Because, we've been following Ryan for the last little while, on this podcast. And
I've been friends with him for 10 years.
Yeah. And you can tell definitely your interactions. Last few fights have been slightly disappointing, and it kind of breaks my heart when I see one of our very own lose like that. You handle it much better than I do.
It's their fights, man. In the grand scheme of things, when a guy takes a L, does it really matter? In the grand scheme of life, yeah, it does. But the people that I'm friends with that take these losses, the Boogeyman, Ryan, these guys are some of the toughest guys on the planet. Like, realistically, those fights that Ryan lost to, I actually think the one of them I think was really, really close.
Okay.
The other boxing fight that he fought in Germany and he lost that decision, he won that fucking fight.
Yeah.
No way he lost. It's boxing.
He handles it well. He just gets back in and keeps going.
Because he knows.
Yeah.
He
I
knows.
don't. I get like wet in the eyes and I get pissed off.
No,
and
I don't.
I lose my faith. I'm like, oh, but it is what it is.
As long as he's physically fine,
yeah.
I'm good. I'd like to see both individuals be able to go home. Nobody's maimed or fucking sleeping or do I want to see a guy get knocked out? 100%. Do I want him to go to the hospital? No.
Right.
Should he? Probably. But let's go get checked out and then go home. But
yeah.
I don't want to see anybody get physically hurt to the point where they have a problem performing day-to-day duties or have an extended stay.
Right.
But yeah, Ryan the Real Deal Ford, December 15th, Germany. I will have a link for the fight.
Yeah, and boxing on that one too.
Yeah, no more MMA.
Yeah, there was actually, just speaking of MMA, touching on it real briefly, there was a doubleheader this week. Mark Hunt lost.
Shut up, to who?
Yeah, to did he lose? Yeah, to the local. The fight was in Australia.
Oh,
I like the Mark Hunt story. Mark Hunt is not the same Mark Hunt.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's fucking 40-something.
Yeah, and I thought he would but then, I thought he had enough. But then, other than that, yeah, that's the only thing. The only worthwhile fight I wanted to touch on the UFC doubleheader this weekend. I was flipping back on channels trying to watch all these fights.
Didn't Kamaru Usman fight?
He did amazing.
Did he beat?
He beat Rafael
Dos
Santos just beat the shit out of him.
Did he?
Worked him down.
Yes.
It was a good fight. This guy's a new breed. And, somebody who I thought was done that showed a lot of resilience, speaking of this UFC card, was the Shogun, Marcio Shogun Rua.
Hua?
Yeah.
He fought?
He fought.
Wow.
He fought a young Australian, really tall, with all the Samoan tattoos all over his back. Really tall, really lengthy.
You fuck him up?
Got dropped. Thought he lost it and just dug deep and came back and won it. And he's beat up, but he's losing more hair than I am.
Did he get a decision or knockout?
He got the ground and pound.
Okay.
So yeah, he did the
Nice.
ground and pound win. I don't know what's left for guys like that because you got the Shogun, you got Mark Hunt. These guys are older dudes, man. I don't know.
I don't think Shogun's very old though. I think he might
started
be
fighting pretty young.
36 or 34
yeah,
or something like
right.
that.
And I think the average age of fighters is, I don't know, it's going up. But there was actually even a Bellator card that I couldn't really follow.
Oof.
But I just can't follow it all.
I like Bellator, but some of these events that they put out on Spike TV, I don't know who the fuck's on there.
I try, and they don't even have Wikipedia links that I can't follow, or something. Some of these people, I do like their production, and I do like some of the stuff they're doing. It's just nice to. It's just a nice, different look than the feel. I'm tired of all that stuff. But one thing I can talk about. We were talking about like production. Before the podcast started. We were talking about production. What do you think of the Showtime production? And I realized how important production was personally when I watched the Tito Ortiz Liddell fight.
Oof.
I was like, holy fuck, the UFC is doing something right. And how much
they've got it figured out.
Yeah, as much as you can, shit on them or hate on them or not, but they were doing something right. And
okay. So you've got the biggest promotion in all of MMA, and they do it right. So why wouldn't you copy it?
Yeah.
Because you know what the UFC did? They copied the WWE.
Right. They make no bones about it.
No.
Yeah.
You know what the WWE copied? Probably fucking boxing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why change it? It works. Listen, Oscar De La Douchebag, don't fucking go to the retirement home and get these guys out of retirement, please. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell's 40 fucking 8 or 40...
Everybody's there's a lot of pointing fingers now.
Come on, man.
Well, I just think it'd be different if he won. There wouldn't be anybody pointing fingers.
No,
and there'll be a lot
I'd
of
still
hears.
be saying it.
Yeah.
Leave the fucking guy alone.
I thought there'd be hope. I really will.
No hope. No hope. We're talking about Tito Ortiz, who somehow stayed relevant for fucking 48 years in the sport.
Right.
Like, however long. He's 43 years old. He's been fighting since he was 19. He stayed relevant, had the surgeries, never got knocked out too often. Chuck Liddell put him away twice, but he's in great shape still.
Do you think he didn't involve? I guess we've been talked about to death, and it's old news now. But
Fuck, man. Like,
it was. I thought in my mind when we referenced Bellator that there would be always, maybe because I'm older too, that there would be like a masters division in UFC. There'd be a place and a hope for it, but there clearly isn't.
there's not. No. Like, Chuck Liddell's been knocked out. Like, Chuck Liddell is my favorite MMA fighter of all time.
Okay.
Now, he should have stopped probably when Rampage knocked him out. That was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then he got cleaned up by Rashad Evans, which might have been the most destructive knockout of all time in MMA history from a punch.
Right.
Then he goes on and gets knocked out by Rich fucking Franklin
Right.
with the shittiest fucking right hook ever. And then Tito Ortiz, who couldn't punch his way out of a wet paper bag, caught him with a 1-2 down the pipe and slept him.
And then we have a local, or not local, but a friend of the podcast is like, we have like an older guy like Lee Mean, who just wins this weekend.
I love Lee Mean.
Right?
He's one of the greatest
Guy's
human beings
ripped.
on the planet.
Is he? I've never.
Amazing human.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I was just watching when I was going through my fights. I was watching that, and that guy's, how old is he? Do you think
53.
You know this off the top of your head? 53, shredded. He's a beast of a man.
But when you look at Lee, how many times, go through his record and tell me how many times he's been knocked out.
A few times.
A few times.
I wikied him.
But they're spaced out.
Right.
Right? He doesn't take an exuberant amount of damage. He
Right.
probably went in and just fucking beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, first round. It was, yeah. He's still active and he's still doing it, you know?
He's in shape.
And we talk about this older generation. You know, he's older than Chuck, but looks.
Look at his competition level, though. Very different levels of competition. Chuck Liddell,
Sure.
highest in the sport.
Sure.
I'm not shitting on Lee.
Yeah, right.
But
He would say the same thing.
he would say the same thing. Like,
yeah.
He never fought a Rashad Evans
Right.
or a Vanderlei Silva. Or,
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
I get it.
He's fought tough guys. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
for sure.
But not to the extent that a guy like Chuck Liddell has, and not with people that have had the striking pedigree.
Right. But it was interesting. I secretly cheer for those older guys. I like seeing a Canadian like Lee Mean still doing that.
Listen, would I send Lee a thank you card when he retires? 100%. Thank you
for bringing so much to the sport. Like, you could argue he's a pioneer in Canadian.
He is a pioneer
in Canadian MMA.
Yeah, he's one of the best representatives for MMA on the planet.
Oh, really? That deep?
Yes.
You would say that much?
Yes.
Okay.
If Canadians want to send somebody to represent Canadian MMA as like a spokesperson, fucking Lee Mean's the guy.
Yeah, man. You know, and it's clearly, you know, you can't say Lee Mean without saying Jordan, you know, who's currently UFC
Jordan's an amazing fighter.
I was looking at his record the other day. First fight was in 2006, lost it to Rory McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
2006. I don't know how old Jordan is, but he can't be over. Like, he must have been
him and Rory are
17.
around the same
He must have
age.
fought him when he was 17 or 18.
That was an amateur fight, I believe.
Yeah, definitely an amateur. Yeah, it's fascinating to see that. But that was just referencing old people, and I was kind of nice to see that. But speaking of old things and old people,
Luke Spicer? What?
You know, we can't talk about Luke without mentioning his new beard.
Yeah, he's got to shave that off.
You don't like it?
No,
I
I
think
don't.
with the buzz cut, it looks okay.
Fuck him.
No.
No.
He's got. I was watching some of his stuff the other day, and I did see the beard in full effect. Maybe it's his new.
He's growing his hair out too. He's gonna look like a hippie fuck here pretty soon.
Pretty-
All hippy dippy with his vegan fucking diet and his float tank.
Well, I wish him nothing but the best.
You
for
love
him.
Luke Spicer.
I have a secret spot in my heart for Luke because I think, you know, he did what he had to do. Was having troubles getting fights when in, you know, at a critical time in his career, and went all in with, you know, found a new old lady who seems to be much more attractive than his former one.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm in no position.
The other one looked like he dug up a fucking gravesite.
So I don't know. Did she move in? I don't know if they live in separate.
Yeah, they live together.
They live together.
It is. I'm not gonna spill his.
Sure. No reason I want to talk about it, but I do have a soft spot for Luke because I want him to do well, and I just loved.
Hey, Luke, if you're watching YouTube.
yeah, I'm sure he doesn't because it's.
He's got better things to do. Listen to me talk
he's
shit.
Got float shacks and fucking.
Good for him. He's got businesses going.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so
I'll tell you right now, if he asks me for change again, I'm fucking knocking him
out. Another thing that you brought out the bow this weekend, or is it gun? You went deer hunting this weekend? I tried to get a hold of you yesterday.
Hunter, my nephew had a tag to go fill his deer tag. Now we went out yesterday.
How'd that go?
It was
no bueno.
Goddamn blizzard.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
dude.
see shit. Like you go out south, and the fog was thick.
Yeah.
And then it started off freezing rain. I was like, okay, fuck this. I'm not getting stuck out here.
And what, did you last an hour or two?
No, we went out. We left around 8. We came back around noon.
The Boogie Child?
Boogie Child was with us, yeah.
She can handle the weather?
She doesn't give a fuck.
No, she's super tough. Speaking of the Boogie Child, she did show up on the gym on Friday.
Yeah.
You guys had an impromptu family night.
Yeah.
And
it was fun.
I got some footage you could see. And she's got amazing pad work. You've been doing stuff with her at the house?
She's not so great on the bag, but she's good on pads.
Yeah. So she
hard.
lit up the pads. I did some light pad work with her, calling out pretty complex combinations.
She knows what they are.
Yeah, no problem.
No.
Amazing footwork.
Yeah.
And I kind of said, it was fascinating to watch the footwork on her because I know, like head trauma, that you're a real big proponent on footwork.
Yes.
And before you came to the club, you can argue. No, there's no argument. We had shitty footwork, the whole studio, the whole club. And we've all cleaned it up.
Kind of.
You're the best, We're all still kind of semi-retards. Absolutely. But there's an improvement overall.
Yeah.
And the first thing I noticed was when I was trying to choke her, coming in at her.
Like physically?
Yes, your daughter. I was trying to choke her out. When I was trying to get in her personal
You're trying to get
her personal space in terms of when I were doing pad work, so she would back up appropriately and doing some pivoting drills with the drill. Nailed them all. It was really kind of cool to see. Yeah. For a girl who is 7, I believe. 8.
Yeah.
And has never stepped in the gym doors. So
yeah. No, we do stuff here.
Do you?
Yeah. Like when she first started, we didn't throw punches. We just did footwork, and I'll credit him again, Roman Shipkovsky. He's when I went in and decided to switch to boxing, it was footwork.
Yeah.
And I'll do footwork watching TV.
Right.
I think the single most important thing in boxing is probably going to be your footwork and your head movement. I don't get hit a lot.
She had head movement too because we were doing slips and rolls.
Yeah, she can move.
Yeah.
And she hits hard for a
super hard,
50-pound-year-old girl. She hits hard.
And you, what are you, breeding fighters, or why hasn't she been in the gym, or what's your plan with her? No interest.
Because she's shy.
Is she shy?
Yeah. So I wanted to
clearly
wait.
did not get that from you. I don't know where.
No, I'm pretty fucking loud. But no, she's shy. I want to avoid. I want her to be comfortable, but I also don't want
force shows.
I want her to have the proper skills. I'll put that in quotation marks, as opposed to because she just won't like if somebody tells her to do something, she'll just go do it.
Okay, I'm reading between the lines here, so I think it's important that she gets good coaching from a reputable school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just don't want to expose her to bad habits right off the bat because,
she's my kid. I'm going to coach her my way.
Right. And it's hard to do.
Until somebody comes along and tells me that my way is not the best, and if you're better than me at it, then fucking go ahead.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, where we're at now, it's just not there.
Right. Well, I was wondering, but that was fun. I got some photos of her doing some bag work. She has got some crazy gymnastic skills.
She has some freaky shit, man.
And and I think that we got some.
She wants to be a contortionist.
I can't even say that word. Yet your daughter wants to be, and
listen, man, she can walk like The Exorcist.
Right, and that's weird. And
fucking weird.
But all the power to her. She was doing handstands and
Makes for cool videos.
Yeah, it makes for cool stuff. And yeah, I'm super flexible. Could be an amazing gymnast.
Yeah. You got any more questions for me, Derek?
I do. You know, maybe not so much questions. I just want to touch on some of the stuff we have coming up in the new year. And more importantly, we're going to have a new video editing rig, so we're going to get more videos coming out. We got a new merch store. The hats, Tanner's wearing the hat I'm wearing that you can't see right now. We got a new order. We got new shirts coming in. We're relaunching the website, which will be interesting. And we got a couple new segments for the show planned for the new year that will you'll see in person, so you'll get away from the traditional interview format, which is great. And
I have a fun fact for you actually about our store that I haven't told you yet because I just found out yesterday.
Let's go.
So USG, when they launch their website, they're going to encode us links so people can shop the USG website right from our website.
Perfect. So that too, and we're kind of build our so we got new stores, we got a new launch of our websites. We'll be a lot more active at the events. So you'll be seeing more of us in person and just kind of building the brand, building the podcast, you know. I'm really excited about that. But we really kind of touched a lot on this podcast, from the Fury fight to...
Did we talk about the Fury fight? We didn't.
That was the number one thing on my little docket I have, and that's the one thing. What did you think of it?
I thought it was an amazing fight. I thought Tyson Fury won, hands down, unanimous decision.
No, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
I don't have my boxing knowledge, but I thought, I don't know.
Listen, am I mad that it was a draw? Not really.
Did you hear Paulie's little... What was his reference?
Paulie Malignaggi? He was pissed because Fury didn't get the win.
Right, and he said some great quotes near the end of the fight. If you guys
He said that he can't do his job if the fucking judges aren't going to do theirs.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. How am I supposed to go over these replays when I know they're bullshit?
You can't.
Yeah. So let it play out. I'm out.
You might get fired for that. Who fucking knows?
That's why I love him for it.
But good, I'm not a Paulie Malignaggi fan.
No?
But I like that.
You like that kind of...
Yeah, I've been known to put Paulie in some memes with Conor McGregor.
Okay.
A couple of those made it to Twitter.
Yeah, maybe talk a little bit more about it, you know? We one thing that we were talking off the podcast just on the way over here was... His stud of a coach, his 27-year-old. What's his name?
Ben Davison.
Ben Davison, right.
What a fucking weird thing that is.
I don't know. I've heard multiple stories. You can find him online. Everything he would from...
like, when we talk about his corner, he had Ricky the Hitman Hatton. One of the greatest champions of all time. He had Freddie Roach, who arguably could be the greatest boxing trainer of all time.
Right.
And he had this fucking kid... 26-year-old Ben Davison, never trained a boxer. That's his main corner guy in the ring talking to him.
I secretly love all of it, man.
I loved it.
Yeah. I think it's great. So I think
good for you, Ben Davison. Shout out to you. You're a bad motherfucker.
You see? I don't know.
You took a guy that was high on cocaine,
right?
400 fucking pounds,
right?
And has severe mental fucking. He's severely fucked.
Yeah.
And you turned him around from 400 pounds to 256 pounds. That was the best Tyson Fury we've ever seen.
The thing I learned about his training methods that kind of stung maybe a little bit for me. He said road work, pads, and sparring. The rest is bullshit.
It is.
And I'm not a huge fan of road work. No, I don't know if anybody is a fan of road work.
I hate it. I do.
But
it.
I know. But how else are you gonna lose that kind of weight? And how else are you gonna have endurance like that? He did 12 rounds with and looked great. But
well, you know me. I don't lift weights.
Which I find odd.
I don't like it. It fucking slows me down.
Do you know tune up weights?
I feel like I'm fast.
Okay.
Like when I spar, I'm faster than everybody.
No doubt about it, for sure.
And I like to stay like that. I get too big.
Chunky, slow? Like, not chunky as in fat, just heavy and slow?
My cardio goes down.
But you look great.
I don't give a fuck.
You look great now. Like, right? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm the lightest I've been right now in a couple of years.
Yeah. And, funny thought, always makes me think of Luke or the keto diet. But is that directly to your extensive training, or do you think just because you've been eating better?
I'm not keto anymore.
Okay.
and I jumped off the keto diet because I plateaued.
Yeah.
I stopped. I stopped losing.
Right.
I felt fine.
Right.
But now I'm eating carbs again, and then I started losing weight again.
Right. Do you think that's a good pattern for you to be in? Or that's the way your body works? And
I think
everybody's different.
I broke this down to my nephew a couple times. Like, you can eat Big Mac at every meal. At some point, your body's going to plateau. You can eat a chicken breast for every meal.
I love your chicken breast.
At some point, your body's going to plateau. I fucking hate chicken.
You haven't gone back? You go back occasionally?
I eat it, but
you ate it so much that you fucking hate it.
I fucking hate it.
You must
10 years.
Sauce it to death, spice it to death. And
I don't. I just suck it up.
Okay.
I'll put it in stir fries now. But
I don't know why I find that
if you chuck me a chicken breast off the barbecue, I'll probably throw it at you.
I'm just done. I'm over.
I hate it.
I'm fucking done this, man.
Fucking hate it.
Chicken's delicious, though.
Listen, man, I've got a freezer downstairs full of deer. Why the fuck would I eat a chicken breast?
Okay.
But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, your body plateaus.
Right.
And then I was telling Jesse Kitchen, like, you've been eating clean for so long, now you haven't dropped a pound for 2 weeks. It's fucking weird, right?
I don't believe it. Oh, go ahead.
It's fucking weird though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go eat something's fucking shitty.
Weird, eh?
What happened?
Dropped a bunch of weight.
Down in weight.
What do you? Body's a weird thing. But
listen, your body has a mind of its own too, right? You can feed it the same thing over and over and over again, and then at some point it's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. We've had this for fucking 3 months. Let's stop. But anyway,
that's it, Tanner. We've covered fights, food,
okay, we
fighting.
still got 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
I'm guessing you probably want Song of the Week this week.
We're doing, we've kind of missed Songs of the Weeks. I don't have one handy. I was hoping to maybe hit up some guys.
I do. Queen. Princes of the Universe.
Queen, Princess of the Universe?
Queen, Princes of the Universe.
So we'll add that to our local playlist. You can find it on Facebook, or if you're not added to our we can find it on Spotify or iTunes. Just look for the Final Shot podcast in the playlist of all our songs that we've had from fighters.
Are we on Spotify?
We are on Spotify.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
yeah. I had to change the account because it was under my personal account, and that's why it was hard to find. But we are on Spotify. And that covers the song of the week. We also wanted to we're taking submissions or ideas for guests of the year. We're 34 episodes deep right now. We've got some people. We're giving away some right prizes. We found a really good deal on a full-size belt that I'll show a demo picture of that we'll be giving away to our guests of the year. And we're very grateful for some of the people we've had on. And
who'd we have? We had Ryan the Real Deal Ford.
Yeah, we got some finalists, just from
Steve Claggett.
Steve Claggett is he's getting a lot of traction.
Robin Black.
Robin Black's a good one. I think it's it's fame, and that's the thing about being famous. You get a lot of so.
Who else was in there? Dario.
Dario's always a good one to get. And we had some of the classic guys have the secret followings I didn't know about. The Bulldog. He's
Scotty,
like Scotty. Yeah. He people are talking about Scotty still. And then, and just because we've been having such a local presence, Gary Copus, the Hocus Pocus, he's always getting a little bit of traction too. And, I'm going to throw mine out, and that's Shaq. And as much as Dario hates it,
Shaq Daddy.
I liked it. Yeah, he did.
Throwing it out there. Oh, we forgot somebody who's pretty important. Manny Montreal.
Very important to the podcast. Probably had the most appearances on the podcast, more than anybody else. Brings brings a different color, bring a life to the podcast. We've all heard stories, guys, how you guys met.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun, and he's going through. He was at the Adonis Stevenson fights,
Yeah.
So he always brings. He kind of brings a West Coast. That'd be a East Coast flavor.
Yeah.
To our.
I like Manny.
Yeah. And
not a lot of people like Manny for some reason, but I get a kick out of him. I think he's a good guy.
And, speaking of Manny, what's next for Mr. Manny?
So, Manny and I have something planned for a live stream New Year's Eve.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, so Manny and I are going to go live, and we're going to do a whole bunch of picks of, Fighter of the Year, Comeback of the Year, all that kind of shit.
Right.
We're going to do that.
That should be well.
I think I might bring Manny on next week to talk about this fucking shit.
It'd be kind of. I would like personally to know what he's up to because he is no longer with the Fight City.
No, He's on his own.
What does that mean?
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is being put together as we speak.
That'd be fun to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his contract ran out. He had enough.
He had enough. Yeah. He's listen, I get it. You put your heart and soul into something and it doesn't pay. I do it every week.
Right. Right.
Like, realistically, I've done over 200 episodes of this goddamn show.
Right.
Between this and the Spice Life podcast. Oh, well over 200 episodes at this point.
It was done under passion. And
I love it.
And you would still do it for free. If you weren't. Because I like it that much. I love bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
I never started, or you never started the podcast because I was looking to get paid fast. I did it because I have a voice that has something I want to share. I want to bring something to the table. And like podcasts aren't known for being cash cows anyways. It was,
Here's what I like about it is in Canada for combat sports, we don't have a voice.
Right.
I like to provide the platform. If somebody listens to it, great.
Right.
If nobody listens to it, great.
Which isn't happening.
It doesn't happen.
Right.
People listen to it.
Right.
But I want guys like Adam Brady, Brian Ford, Brian Caldwell, Steve Claggett.
Give them a platform.
Dario.
Because that's what I see when I go to these events. Like, you have fighters almost in tears and grateful. Thanks for letting me be on the podcast. Thanks for getting it out. These guys are very grateful, very thankful. So it's cool because, and some of those guys are just so happy to talk about it because they have nobody to talk about it to. They're going through these massive struggles of being from the amateur bowler to being a professional fighter. Yeah. And nobody understands.
Nobody gets it.
Nobody gets it,
Realistically, I started the podcast because I was hurt. Okay. I had nothing to do. I wanted to be involved in the fight community still. I didn't want to get out. Now that I'm better, I don't want to stop doing the podcast, but I also want to fight. And I have to provide food for my family. So
right. Yeah,
I have to work. It's a very busy schedule. I won't stop doing it.
Okay.
I will never stop. Not unless I get sued.
Yeah. What close calls?
A couple close calls, But there's some things that are starting to pay off where I'm going to get to be able to go do certain things to companies.
Right.
Like commentate fights and do stuff like that. And,
I think this is a great stepping stone. I think there's just,
It's flattering. Like when somebody messages me on social media and says, hey, would you be interested in doing this?
Right.
It's flattering. It's nice to be asked.
Right.
Like, you got the ugly girl over there that doesn't get asked to the dance.
I get it.
Fuck, maybe she doesn't even want to go, but shit, it's still nice to be asked.
Yeah, I've been the ugly girl my whole life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So here's what I want you to break down. Sure.
The rub and tug situation in Edmonton.
The rub and tug, I've been to one. I've been in Edmonton.
All right, guys. The podcast today was brought to you by On It. If you're not on it, get on it at www.onit.com/TFS podcast. Get some cardio, get the Shrimp Tech Sport. We're also brought to you by Buds and Leaves, Sovereign Extracts, and Smile Canada, Smile V-Liquid Smile fucking spray. Go check them out on Instagram. And that's the final shot.
Boom.